Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our IRL edition of MTG Ectoplasm. I'm your host, Dwight, aka Blanco, a medium that wears an extra extra large. You can reach out to me on Twitter at MTG Ectoplasm, or you can email me directly at mtgectoplasm@gmail.com. Now, this is an open format where we discuss things. You, the listening or viewing audience, will come in and chime in about the topic that I bring, and then we bring up other topics. You got questions? I might have answers. If you have answers, I might have questions. Well, it's vice versa. It's an open thing. And try it. We we were discussing China. We were talking what? We were talking the Chinese New Year. So I have with me tonight the ravishing Renata. Say hello, ravishing.
Hello.
It's a pleasure to have you back. Thank you for being my engineer. What do you think of tonight's episode?
I think it's going to be a good one.
I'm interested because this episode, the what we're going to discuss, reminds me of my youth. I remember being a 16-year-old boy uh, who used to go around to the arcades, uh, just begging my mom for quarters and just going to the arcades and playing games left and right. I was a pinball. I'm not going to say a pinball master, but I enjoyed playing myself a whole bunch of pinball. But then magically it showed up. Uh, this one particular arcade cabinet. And I was a little skeptical on it because I saw the first iteration of it and I was like, the game was okay, but the second edition, the World Championship Edition, I believe it was called. Wow. It took my breath away. And what we're going to be discussing tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is we're talking about the new secret lair that everybody and their mother is talking about. It's something that Capcom has licensed to Wizards of the Coast, and we're going to be discussing Secret Lair versus Street Fighter. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about 8 legendary warriors that we've seen fighting the gamut left and right to battle Balrog, to fight against Zangief and Sagat and Bison. Like they even made an awful, I believe, an 80s, early 90s movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme as Guile. Oof, let me just tell you, I was a Street Fighter fan. I went into the movie theater to watch this, and oh my god, I there's only one movie that's worse than that, the Street Fighter 2 movie, and that was Weekend at Bernie's Part 2. Honestly, Weekend at Bernie's Part 2 was horrific. And then seeing Street Fighter, I almost stopped playing Street Fighter because of this movie. It was just god awful. Now, what's really interesting is that WotC decided to take it upon themselves. They put themselves to the challenge to create to use the characters from Street Fighter and make it their own. Now, just so you're aware, you can right now go to the Secret Lair website and purchase these cards. You have like another month before they disappear. The release date is July 29th. So you got some time, you got a little time before you decide, yeah, I'm going to pull the trigger on this. But at the same time, you're not going to get it for a while. Right now, currently, we're in February. So you're talking March, April, May, June, July. You're talking 5 months here that you may not get your cards. So, what I wanted to discuss is a little bit about Street Fighter 2, and then we'll get into the games. Now, the arcade game was released in 1991. Now, I know many of you watching this was like, wow, Jesus, that's prehistoric times, right? No, I was a 16-year-old boy and I saw, I played the original Street Fighter and I was like, meh, it was okay. Yeah, they do the fireball, the Hadouken, and you're like, oh, okay, meh. But then when you saw this second one, you're like, okay, this is interesting. 6 buttons, and then you can connect and add combos. There were no finishers because Mortal Kombat was soon to arrive a couple months later. And then when you hit your opponent a certain way, boom, you would have them see stars, and they were in a daze. Oh, that was beautiful. And it really depended on who you picked for certain strategies. Me, I tend to be very conservative, so I tend to stick with Ryu and Ken. These are my guys. Even in Mortal Kombat, I'm a guy who sticks with Sub Zero and also Scorpion, just because I'm used to those. But I love, as you see the style I play in Magic, I'm all about being aggressive. I like being in front of the person, and also uh, being a tempo player where I can outwit my player and play defensively. The fireball, the Hadouken, allows me to sit there and play defensively and aggressively. The Shoryuken, which is the flying uppercut, allows me to sit there and be a little bit more aggressive when people aren't aware. And then I'm not even going to try to pronounce the helicopter kick that these gentlemen do, flying around left and right, giving their opponent multiple concussions with their feet. And let me just tell you, that was always fun, putting someone in the corner and then just slapping the crap out of them. And then you hear, oh, oh, oh. It was so much fun. Unfortunately, I was never the best. I always had a friend of mine who always literally kicked my ass left and right. But man, I can tell you, endless days at the arcade. I admit I played hooky here and there. I was like, I'm not in the mood to go to school. I'm gonna go to the mall and play some arcade games. So, kids, if you're watching this, don't do what I do. I'm just saying, right? Right, Ravishing?
Right.
There you go. So now let's talk about these secret layers. Now that the young 16-year-old me got a chance to reminisce and enjoy the good old times, it's now time to relive my youth in these cards. And here comes a new challenger. This challenger is Ken. That's right, Ken. He's a burning brawler, legendary creature, human warrior. He has prowess. Of course, what would I expect from Ken? This guy's a narcissistic American like myself. It's all about the USA. 4/2 creature. You can either tap a red or white. Ken gains first strike until end of turn. What more could you ask for? It's Grand Old USA, buddy. We're all about being aggressive and getting in other people's faces. Now, when Ken deals combat damage, you may cast a sorcery spell from your hand with mana value less or equal to the damage without paying its mana cost. Holy crap! Holy crap! This is one sick card. You telling me for I Oh, I deal damage. Oh, I'm gonna do 4 points of damage to my opponent so I can cast a spell for 4. I guess Ken ain't pulling no punches here, and I hate to use the pun, but wow. Wow. Now, one thing I did notice about this card is if you look at the foil underneath, they usually come oval or some weird design. This time they went triangle, reverse triangle. Now the question is why? Is it something in the agreement with Capcom they had to do? Maybe. But I let me just tell you, I'm a fan of this art. Now you'll see Ken and you're like, what the hell is he doing? What's up with the little swirls around Ken? That's the show Ryu Ken. This is the flying uppercut that I was telling you about. And with Ken, he had the ability of not only just hitting you with the uppercut, but he hit you multiple times at the uppercut, and it was like a fiery inferno when he hit you. Uh, Let me just tell you, I love this card. I'm a big fan. Now, for 3 mana, 1 generic and 2 red, you know what? My boy ain't playing here. This is a serious card. Now, I'm wondering in the near future, because they're talking about, oh, these will just be skins, and then we're gonna just make other magic cards that are adaptable to it. I wonder what this creature is eventually that's going to show up in the world of Magic the Gathering. Now, there's another challenger, and we're going to see who this is. Who's the next challenger that's going to face Ken? Oh, of course, Ryu, World Warrior. Why would I not expect Ryu? It's two generic and a white, and he's an inverse. If you noticed before, Ken was a 4-2. Now we have Ryu as a 2-4. Mind you, remember what I told you. I'm all about defense and protecting my own. Notice. Ken was more aggressive. Ryu was more defensive, right? Now it says training. I'm like, what the hell's training? Whenever this creature attacks with another creature, oh, it gives it +1 plus. It gives the other creature +1 +1. Okay, that's cute. That's cute because if you know anything about the story of Street Fighter 2, Ryu's always training. He's always looking to improve. He's looking to better himself. He wants to face the challenges that are out there. Bravo to Watsi. Bravo. I would have never thought of adding training to this. Now it has a four generic and a 4, and I believe untap with a red. Okay. Discard Ryu. Hold up. Discard a card. Ryu World Champion deals damage equal to this power to any target. If excess damage were dealt to a creature this way, draw a card. Now I know I'm butchering this English, right? So, sweetheart, Ravishing, you're going to read them from this point on. All right.
Okay.
All right. But let me just tell you, wow. Wow. And it's pretty neat that they added the Hadouken, the fireball, to this, and he's doing the fireball. Ladies and gentlemen, man, the flavor, I'm usually not a huge fan of the secret layers. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a fan. But I hate to say it this time. So far, 2 for 2. Now, there's 6 more cards. Let's hope, you know, the flavor keeps on continuing. So the next challenger is we got Blanca, the Furious Fiend, 3 generic, a red and a green, and he's a 5/5 haste. Wow. Now, if you look at the image, you're going to go, what the hell is going on here? What's going on with crazy Blanca? Well, in the game, if you hit, I think kick, no, or punch, I forget which one of the two, you hit that quick enough, he ended up shooting bursts of lightning from his skin and was able to shock his opponent. Now, the best part is that when he did it, your opponent, the way you would do this in the actual video game is you would wait for your opponent to jump over at you. You'd walk up slightly and then tap real quick. Boom, there's electric, and they would land onto you, and then they would go and then fall to the ground, and then you would use other attacks. Uh, shall I say, a rolling attack. Now, Ravishing, I'm going to let you keep on reading the rest of it. Start with haste, please.
Haste. Rolling attack. Blanca, ferocious fiend, has trample as long as you've cast 3 or more spells this turn. Electric thunder. Whenever Blanca becomes the target of a spell, he gets a +2/+2 until end of turn and deals 2 damage to each opponent.
Wow. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, the cool thing too about Blanca, he's had this special attack when he roll across the screen, and in the first edition of Street Fighter, he would just roll straight back and forth and try to hit the opponent, and you're like, come on, dude. And then when you least expected, when he usually reached the other side because you're trying to um, avoid his attack, he would jump and he would be right there and he would electrocute you. I love the fact that they added both of his attacks onto this card. Blanca wasn't one of the easiest characters to use, but for my Brazilian listeners and watchers out there, this character is hidden in Brazil, hidden in the Amazon jungles of Brazil. So let's see who the next challenger is. That challenger is ChunLi, of course. ChunLi, countless kicks, 1 white, 1 blue, 1 generic. It's a 3/3 legendary creature, human soldier. Now, this young lady, she was tough back in the day. She was tough. She would do this. If you look at the image, she's doing this multiple kicks. And then on top of that, I don't think in the first edition she had fireball, but she had some other ability. I forget what it was, but she was a tough out because she would always fly over. Oh, I remember. It was an upside down helicopter kick that she would fly with her head, and like I guess she was spinning on her head, and she would literally helicopter kick the hell out of you. And you're like, sweetheart, will you stop kicking me? Like, please stop kicking the crap out of me because that's literally what she's doing. She's multiply kicking you left and right with a lightning kick and then a reverse helicopter kick. Now, one thing I can say is that later editions, they ended up adding a fireball because that's what I remembered as my kid. I think it was like Street Fighter 2, the Ultimate Edition. They ended up adding a fireball. Now, one thing I applaud Watsy is multi kicker. They added multi kicker, an ability that's typical Magic, and they went, yeah, we're gonna add multi kicker on this card. Bravo, bravo, because ChunLi herself is a multi kicker. She knows how to kick ass with her feet, and ravishing. Please continue.
When Chun-Li enters the battlefield, exile up to X target instant cards from your graveyard, where X is the number of times Chun-Li was kicked. Put a kick counter on each of them. Lightning kick. Whenever Chun-Li attacks, copy each exiled card you own with a kick counter on it. You may cast the copies.
Wow, that's extremely powerful. That if that's going to be a real Magic card in the future, oof, oofa. That's gonna be tough. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my god, did humans just get tougher? Didn't humans just get better? Like, why didn't Street Fighter have spirits? I'm just saying, Street Fighter doesn't have spirits. They're all humans. Well, I think what doesn't what's it? Blanca was Beast, right?
I think so.
Go back real quick. Just want to make sure. Thank you, sweet. Human beast warrior. Okay. So there is a beast, but it seems like most of them go to Chun-Li. It seems like most of these people are going to be human warriors or human soldiers. Wow. Now, I love the flavor. I love the artwork. And just seeing the neat coordination of her with her legs up. Let me just tell you, that's one muscular young lady. And this is one young lady I do not want to see out in the streets. If I see her, I'm going to run the opposite direction because she'll probably end up catching me anyways. 'Cause I'm fat. Just saying. Now let's see who the next challenger to enter Street Fighter 2. And it's of course DollSam, the pliable pacifist. Two generic, a green and a white, and a 1/3 human monk. Now, what I will tell you about this gentleman is one thing I love that I just saw in his flavor text. He has reach. God, let me just tell you, I used to loathe this guy. He used to he used to infuriate me because he the way you could use him is you back away from your opponent and elongate his arms or his feet at the same time. And then he had this wonderful power called Yoga Flame, where he would spit out fire from his mouth, and you're like, dude, I'm trying to get away from you, and now you're spitting fire on me. And then eventually, later on in future editions, they ended up adding a teleport where you go yoga, and he would just teleport to a different part. And you're like, dude, you're punching me. I'm trying to escape, and next thing you know, you're teleporting to a spot where I'm at, and then you can yoga flame me, spit fire on me. Not fair, guy. Not fair. The only benefit from this guy, he was a little bit slower than most of the opponents, but still, he could elongate and just snap at you, which just sucked. Now, Ravishing, let us know a little bit of what my friend DollSam, the pliable pacifist, does.
Teleport. Dualism pliable
Pacifist.
pacifist has hexproof unless he's attacking. Sorry, the card's a little dark.
No, I hear you.
Whenever a creature you control with reach attacks, untap it, and it can't be blocked by creatures with greater power this combat. Fixed punch. Whenever one or more creatures you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card.
You know what? I'm a big fan of this card. So far, they're hitting it out of the ballpark. This set, they're really hitting it out of the ballpark. I really am loving this card. Realistically, will I ever use DollSam? No, because I never used him in real life in the video game. But he's such an interesting character that they brought to the world of Magic the Gathering. Let's see who the next challenger is, shall we? And the next one is EHonda Sumo Champion. Now, this guy, okay, I learned about sumo wrestling because of this guy. It was a moral imperative. I was like, okay, what is up with sumo? What's up with this guy's the weighted dress? What's up with his face makeup? It's 4 generic, 2 white, and it's an 07. So obviously, this legendary creature, this human warrior, he's more constrained. But to sit there and say that, realistically, because what this individual used to do is he would be in the in the video game, he would have his own little spa, and there was a little yoga not yo sorry sumo ring inside, and then he would try to challenge you and try to kick your ass. Now, he if you try to jump over him, he had this big huge colossal chop that would knock you down. And then he had this thing where he would fly across the screen going, "Yo, boy," like that. I mean, you want to make a meme with that? Jesus, you can. But it's, "Yo, boy," and you fly across the screen, and you're like, "Oh, come on, this fat guy's flying across the screen? Not fair." And then if you see the image that you see right there, he would, if you hit the punch button as quickly as possible, he would go, he slap, 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 slap. He would constantly slap you left and right. The only way around this is if, depending on your character, if they had a distant attack, for example, like a fireball, like a Hadouken, or Guile's little force whips that would, like sonic booms, I think they were called, and they send it at you, and that would, you know, slow down this attack. Now, one thing I do love about this image is that if you're an old player, one of the original players from Street Fighter 2, you'll see that there's a car right there that he's beaten up. There was a bonus round, a bonus challenge, and you had to beat up. I think the first one was barrels. Then you had to break all these barrels, and then the other challenge was there was a car, a beautiful like Mercedes Benz or a BMW, and you had to destroy it 110% and total the vehicle. And if you look here, you see who EHonda totaling this vehicle, which I think is absolutely comical. Now, Ravishing, tell us a little bit more of what my friend EHonda does.
Sumo Spirit. As long as it's your turn, each creature assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. 100 Hand Slap. Whenever EHonda Sumo Champion attacks up to 100 target creatures, each gets +0/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand.
Wow. Wow. This is powerful. This is terribly powerful. I mean, this like during the siege tower on crack? Like this is delightful. I mean, there's a part of me that wants to build a wall deck or just a giant defensive big booty deck and then just have Ehan just slap the booty or you just have booty slap you. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make this deck. I'm gonna ask Ravishing to allow me to buy this sometime this week, maybe next week, before this thing ends, and I'm gonna make a commander booty slap deck where the booty slaps the crap out of you. You know what? If you have any insight or any things you want to share with me about making a booty slap deck, ladies and gentlemen, send me an email, mtgectoplasm@gmail.com. You know, in the subject line, put booty slap. I would like to hear your thoughts and how we can make a booty slap deck. I like it, Watsy has no clue. Well, we're gonna make a booty slap deck, and we're gonna make this booty slap work. We're gonna slap that booty, twerk it, just flip it, rub it down. Oh no! But yeah, I love this card. I love the flavor and I love the art. I love how he's like. You see the nostalgia, like I almost a tear. There's like tear that wants to pop from my eye, but men don't cry. I don't cry. All right, let's get to the next challenger. And the next challenger is Guile, the Sonic Soldier. Of course, what I love is that, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we have another American. And of course, he's patriotic. Yeah, he's Jess Guy. But ladies and gentlemen, this is all about the red, white, and blue. Of course, we have the generic blue, red, and white. All right, and he's a 4/4 legendary soldier, uh, human soldier. Now, this is a guy that I didn't used to like. I didn't like playing with, and the reason why is just I felt uh, his special abilities, his special attacks were very difficult. You had to push back, go backwards a little bit, and go forward to cause that sonic boom that he's actually in the image that you see. He's just like, whoa, sonic boom. And then he did this weird flying kick, like a flying scissor kick up in the air that would undo you, like trying to jump over and do like a drop kick onto somebody. It sucked dealing with this guy. And for me, I found most of the time you'd have to, shoot the fireballs, the Hadoukens, and then when you got him in the corner, you'd the which is the awful way of me saying the helicopter kick that Ken and Ryu do to knock this guy's ass out. And then when it gets up, you just throw him like a sack of rice. Now, be like if you're new to Street Fighter, what people aren't aware is that Blanca and Guile have a relationship. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Okay. What happens is that Blanca was originally known as ChunLi. ChunLi was a good friend of Guile. What ended up happening is it's very similar to the Winter Soldier in Captain America, where his friend got captured by the enemy, and they did all these weird experiments, and then he disappeared. Winter Soldier went to Russia, and Blanca ended up going to Brazil. But Guile and Blanca are buddies, but Blanca has that memory issue. I wanted to say Alzheimer's, but is amnesia and can't remember. So Guile is fighting back to punish those who took away his friend Charlie. Now, Renata, tell us a little bit about Guile.
Whenever Guile, Sonic Soldier, enters the battlefield or attacks, put a change counter on him or remove one from him. When you remove a counter this way, choose one. Sonic Boom. Guile, Sonic Soldier deals 4 damage to any target. Flash Kick. Guile, Sonic Soldier gains lifelink and indestructible until end of turn.
Wow. No, see, like that kick I told you, I had no clue what I remember. It's flash kick. There it is, the flash kick. And then the sonic booms. This is a tough card. I'm a fan of it. I love the image. And if you look at the background, it actually has the boxes from his stage where there was like I think it was like an F-14 or an F-16 A Tomcat. Uh, don't mind me. I was a big fan of Top Gun the movie, and they had that airplane in there with these boxes, and you actually have the storage boxes right there. I love this. I love this art. Now, am I going to build a commander on this? No, but I'm a fan. Let's see who the next challenger is. Zangief. Oh, from Mother Russia. Let me just say, privyet. For those who don't know what I just said, just means hello in Russian. Now Zangief, the red cyclone. I'm surprised they didn't call him the red bear. He's too generic. A black, a red, a green, a 7-4 legendary human warrior. Now, he was one of the slowest creatures. He was one of the slowest warriors in Street Fighter 2. The thing with him is he was so massive. It's like, I don't know if you've ever gone to the gym and seen these big burly guys that their arms are so big that it looks like they couldn't even wipe their own butt. I'm like, I don't like they couldn't reach around to wipe their own butt. That's what Zangief was like. And he had this, like, he had scars all over him, which in the actual image you'll see a couple scars, and then he had this awful chest hair. And people always made fun of him. He's like, his chest hair was horrific. Like, dude, what's up with that? Like, even back in the 90s, we were like, shave that thing, because ooh, like, how you picking up the ladies with that, my man? But he would the way he would, like, he's a wrestler, and the way he would grab you anytime he did damage to you, you were feeling it. He'd crouch you, he'd just boom. Like, I remember one of his moves is the spinning pile driver, where he grabs you and just spins you around, and bang, you hit the floor, and you're like, yeah, I think I'm lost this game. I think I lost this game. And then he would do this thing where he, like, the guy was, oh, excuse me, this guy was brutal. The guy was legendarily kicking your ass, but he was slow. So you had an opportunity. If you weren't close enough, you were distant enough, you could beat him up. So I'm wondering if this character is like him, where if you're far away, you don't have to worry about it. But if you're up close, mm. So Ravishing, tell us a little bit more about Zangief, the Red Cyclone.
Zangief, the red cyclone, must be blocked if able. Iron muscle. As long as it's your turn, Zangief has indestructible. Spinning pile driver. Whenever Zangief deals damage to a creature, if that creature was dealt excessive damage this turn, that creature's controller sacrifices a non-creature, non-land permanent.
Wow. That list ability is tough. That list ability is terribly tough. Mm. I wonder, this. This is going to this is going to be reskinned. You know that this is going to probably end up being a dragon of some sort, or some type of weird legendary jund creature, that, like, beast or something. This is going to be interesting, because this has got to be made as a card, and the power behind it. Wow. So we saw all eight, you know, challengers. I'm curious what's going to happen. Oh, but there's one more card. There's a bonus card, ladies and gentlemen, that they didn't tell you about. That if you purchase this Street Fighter thing, now mind you, this is not meant to sound like a commercial. I'm not making any money on it, but I'm just saying, I'm telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, there's a bonus card. They got released thanks to my friends over at Star City Games, and this is the card, Renata. And there it is. There it is. Oh my god, this makes me happy. It's Hadouken. One red mana, and it reads Hadouken deals 3 damage to any target. It's an instant. Now, what I think is kind of funny, I was actually surprised it's not Firebolt. It's not Fireball, because you would think Hadouken, they went with Lightning Bolt. And the cool thing is, if you look at the background, that background where you see the Hadouken, the blue Hadouken flying across, right? Or shall I go this way? All right. Flying across, right? That background is when you face M. Bison, the final character. And it's pretty neat. They put the homage in there. They're going, hey, do you know all the little Easter eggs? I guarantee there are more Easter eggs in this thing that I didn't even see, that I didn't catch yet. But wow. what an extra bonus this is, where you actually get a lightning bolt, a different text, a different feel, a different flavor. Now, don't get me wrong. We've seen lightning bolt reprinted multiple times with textless, with text, of extended art, non-extended art. The original where it was just one crack of lightning coming down. We've seen lightning bolt multiple times, but I tell you, I love the way the flavor they added to this, and I applaud. You know what? Well, you know what? Let me. There you go. Bravo, 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 Watsy, bravo. And I want to thank Capcom for allowing Watsy to do this. I can't wait. I have a feeling in the near future, if this works exceptionally well, you're going to see the people at Midway, or shall I say, Warner Brothers Studios, go, maybe it's time we have Mortal Kombat. Because I know, me personally, I would love to sit there and tell an opponent, finish him or finish her. You know what I mean? I expect them to say, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. You shouldn't beat me. That's bullshit. But, of course, I would finish him and attack, and they're finished. That would be cute. That would be funny. But, ladies and gentlemen, what did you think? Did you have fun this episode? This is just me spouting off, having a good time. Tell me what your thoughts were. Email me. Reach out to me at MTG Ectoplasm on Twitter. And you know what? This is what this is about. This is what IRL is about. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m., we bring out some nonsensical stuff and just say, hey, I share my love for the game, and I guess share my love for the other game, right? I love Street Fighter. So, Ravishing, what did you think of this episode?
I think it was a pretty fun episode.
Did you learn anything new?
I learned about some of the Street Fighter characters.
And, is there any particular character you said, I'm interested in using?
I like ChunLi.
You like the ChunLi character?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, how about my booty slap idea, the booty slap deck?
That was a good idea.
I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching, I want your help. I need you to help me build my booty slap deck. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us. Thank you for joining us on our second episode of MTG Ectoplasm IRL. And you know what? I'm just going to say have a good one. So take care, everybody. Good night.